We're with Coach Gundy as we get ready for week 2 of the college football season. The Cowboys facing Arizona State. What are you looking for this week? I mean, obviously, week 1 to week 2, we've talked about this many times over the years. It can be a big step forward. So what specifically are you hoping to see?
Well, we need improvement in special teams protection. We weren't very good at all last week in punt protection. So we identified what the issues were, and we have a plan in place, and we're able to work that to where we improve in special teams protection. Defensively, we need to eliminate big plays, and that comes through communication. Some of that comes from experience, so hopefully we can minimize that based on the players that we have out there. We're all well aware of the inexperience that we have compared to last year's team. So we were fortunate to get out of the game last week and were able to see where we need to make improvements. And I want to improve in that area, missed assignments, make sure that we're sound in our pass coverages, whether we're manning up or we're playing zone, and make sure that we fit the run, get in our gaps, and do a better job of fitting the run. Offensively, I want to continue to play fast. I don't think it's any secret that that's really who we are. We play really fast, and if we can play fast and efficient, get the ball in the playmaker's hands, it gives us a chance to score points. So those are the things I'd like to see in the game.
Is the dynamic defensively, anytime you have a new coordinator, there's a transition, but you've got a lot of new players and a new coordinator, and we were talking earlier today, Coach Mason's background is more in the secondary, Coach Knowles more with linebackers, so there's a lot in play there, maybe more than people realize perhaps?
Too much to really get in depth without confusing people, but there's a lot in play. We need to do a better job of communicating on the field, our players, but then our communication with players and coaches and to coaches wasn't like it was last year because we have some new faces. And some guys are in the box, some guys are on the field. Again, Coach Mason's more of a secondary guy instead of a linebacker guy. That will improve in this game. We found some deficiencies we had. With all the prep work that we do, you still get in games and find things that happen. And when you watch across college football, you and I have talked about this, it shows up in communication, shows up in turnovers, shows up in special teams, and shows up in penalty yards. Even top 10 teams in the country, when you watch early in the year, it's just so difficult to get it all covered and get it ready. The familiarity of a staff being together and having veteran players is so important. We don't have that right now on the defensive side of the ball, so we have to be really smart in our game plans, what our communication is going to be, both for coaches and players, to give us our best chance to get better and play better each week as we build up some reps and get some experience.
So Arizona State comes into town, and it's been fairly rare that Power 5 teams have come to Stillwater, but that is changing, and it'll really start to take off, really beginning this year.
That's right.
So kind of give us a feel for your thought process in terms of non-conference scheduling, how it's changed to the extent that now we're going to start having Arkansas, Oregon, Alabama in 2028 coming to Stillwater. How has that process evolved for you in terms of what you do with a non-conference schedule?
Well, I think it's important. These changes were based on the college playoff system and the formula to get there with the group that meets and watches games and wants to see a preseason game against another Power 5 opponent. Obviously, it'll be from the out of conference, so they have some comparisons conference-wise. And for the fans, with a concern of all of ours is with the technology and live streaming on phones and the access that fans have to watch games that they didn't have even 5 years ago. So we have to generate ways to get people in the stadium, in the suites, in the club seats. And so all these things are moving that direction. And we're in a really good place right now. We're scheduled out through the mid-30s. And I think that the scheduling is done the right way with the way we're doing it, because we're going to play 9 conference games. I think we're all in agreement over the next year or two, conference realignment will move again, and then it should settle down for an extended period of time, in my opinion. And when that does, you're going to have your 9 conference games. You're going to have a Power 5 conference to make that 10, and then you'll have your other games. And I think that's fair for the team. I think that's good for us prep-wise to make the playoffs, and I think it's good for the fans.
Well, let's just transition right into our What's Your Beef segment, brought to you by Old Trapper Beef Jerky. While we're on this topic, playoff expansion, obviously headed to 12 teams. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, it's going that direction. There's so much money involved in it that I don't think there's any question it's going to move really fast. Now, the delay has been, are we going to do it? And I've been told that they've said, we're doing it. Now we're just deciding when. So once that decision's made, then the members or the voters that have now gotten over, okay, we're going to expand the playoffs, I think it's going to happen really fast now in just what I've heard the last few days. I hadn't paid much attention to it. Honestly, I didn't even know they voted it in, but I was told they voted it in. So now my history in dealing with administrators in a situation like this, I think they'll say that it's already done. There's $450 million sitting on the table out there is what I was told. Why are we waiting until 2026 for this to happen?
Sure.
So I think it'll happen really fast. The only concern I have is it going to be watered down? That's somebody else's decision to make. I used to be concerned about the academic calendar because you have quarter systems, colleges, you have semesters, you have dead week, you have finals weeks, different at each school. But quite honestly, I don't know that anybody's concerned about academics anymore. It is what it is. I think they're moving forward with revenue, and they're gonna say the kids need to figure it out academically. So when you put all that aside, then I think they're going to make the right move because they've taken those two things out of the equation now.
Yeah.
And it's just going to be the way it is.
What's Your Beef brought to you by Old Trapper. Old Trapper is a better way to snack. The 10-ounce Clearview package provides plenty of good protein for you and your family. You see it right here. Old Trapper, sponsor of What's Your Beef. Great stuff. So let's circle back to Arizona State really quickly as we wrap up. Anything schematically that they do that's unusual or especially concerning?
Oh, I think they're going to be under center a little more than what we're accustomed to on offense. They were close to 30% last week. So I'm guessing that's kind of who they are. Even if they didn't want to show much in the last game in preparation for us, I don't think they would get under center that much unless they want to be under center some. I think they want to rush the ball, throw the ball down the field. He throws a really nice ball down the field. Defensively, they played a lot of man last year. I don't see as much of that in the first game this year, but again, they had a couple players that were out that I think are going to be in this game, so maybe they felt differently based on those players' availability. And I think special teams-wise, we're going to see a different picture. They didn't do much on special teams in the first game. They did quite a bit last year, so I think we'll see a different picture on special teams.
Hope you've enjoyed the Orange Power podcast, and we'll see you next week.